Welcome to episode 7 of the Optimal Potential Podcast. I'm Travis Sertan.
And I'm Dr. Matt Borl.
Today we're talking about 75 hard, and we're also talking about 75 moderate, because some people don't want to do it hard.
Cue the lightning. All right, brother. So I know you've been super busy with work and with your workouts. So what's been going on?
I have been busy with work, but there have been no workouts. Well, no, that's a lie. So I'm definitely reprioritizing everything. You know, I'm busy with like 2-3 shoots a weekend. 2-3 gigs, shoots, whatever you want to call them. And this is my first weekend off.
And we're doing this.
Yeah, technically off, right? So this is fun. This is easy. I just had to restructure my workout, my work-life balance, because it just wasn't working. I was so fatigued. I still have my 9 to 5. I still have all these gigs. So rather than fatiguing myself with a workout that's going to drain me, I have just been using workouts for like postural corrections, push, pull, carry, hinge, squat. Like
get in, get out, just get the main stuff in.
I've been working out in the basement, and it's 20 minutes, and that's it, a day. But the thing is, I'm not working out to any type of fatigue. It's all through movement, balance, just staying active. I don't have it in me right now. Mm-hmm. I even had to, I like to cook. I had to go and buy a meal prep company to help fill in some gaps.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time isn't our friend right now.
No, it's not. But I'm definitely paying for the fact that, like, I'm paying for the convenience that I don't have to cook, and I know I'm still getting nutritious meals.
Yeah. Definitely helps.
Yeah. So what's how's stuff? How's everybody on your end?
Good, busy, man.
You made the announcement. So
yeah, so we're having a baby girl, so that's exciting. Yeah, due in October, so right near my birthday too. So it might be a nice birthday present.
Oh God, another Libra in that.
Yeah,
right.
But yeah, I mean, business has been busy, and I think because of that, I feel like I've been on the move nonstop, and that's definitely a little run down too. I've been still getting my workouts in, but it feels a little more forced. Whereas, it's just like I'm getting it in, but as quick as possible, and I'm kind of rushing through it. But yeah, I've been trying to get I got 4 strength workouts in. I try to get 1 yoga workout in during the week. And I'll mix in some cardio. But, last week or two, I've been dealing with a little bit of almost like a lateral epicondylitis on my left elbow. So I had
a new word for me. What is that?
So it's like inflammation.
What was the word?
No, lateral epicondylitis. Epicondylitis, yeah.
Epicondylitis. I'm gonna put
it. Sounds cool, but it doesn't feel great. So I had to modify my workouts a little bit and just work around some movements. But it's getting better. So hopefully another week or two that'll be gone as well. But I think run down is definitely the words of the day.
Yeah, if you actually look at episode 1 and you look at Matt, or episode 2, look at Matt now. Matt definitely gained some muscle. You can see it on him.
I'm trying, man. I definitely got to give the guys at Stoked Athletics some props. They've been program designing for me, so it's been nice to not worry about my workouts and just have something on paper that I have to do and no thinking involved. But
how are you managing your nutrition though?
Nutrition.
Are you doing macros yet?
I don't count my macros. I think that's the next thing I want to get a little better at. Right now, Steph and I, we meal prep on Sundays, so we'll make a bunch of meals for the week. So Monday through Friday, I'm usually pretty good. The weekends, I tend to fall off a little bit. Maybe throw some cookies in there and stuff. But I'm trying to be good.
Those guys at Stoked really rubbed off on us since we had them on episode 4?
Yeah.
Episode 4. Because I signed up for Macro Factor.
Okay, cool.
And not for nothing, man. I've been dealing with gut issues and whatever, but like I'm down, as of this morning, I'm down, on paper, I'm down 7 pounds in 3 weeks. But that's not real weight. That's a lot of water weight and all that stuff. The beginning fat loss, I'm still going up and down, maybe half a pound a day. And it just fluctuates. But I went from 195 back a month ago. Okay. Right? 195-ish. So now I'm down to like 187.8 this morning.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah. And I mean, it shows you that even people that, we have experience in the gym and you're very knowledgeable when it comes to nutrition.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just need a little extra help.
I used to be able to just easily calculate everything, but when my gut started to give up on me and fail, and it slowed everything down. I can't just like go in there the way I used to, 220 grams of protein, and then just play with fats and carbs until I figure out where I am. It's not like that anymore. Now I'm just like, somebody just tell me what to do, because I can't figure it out anymore.
And clearly it's working right now, so you just gotta roll with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing too. It's like, yes, I'm only doing these 20-minute workouts, right? So it's like I'm really working out below maintenance on every scale. I feel a little bit like I've lost a little muscle, but I also am eating below maintenance, right? I have everything tied out, so that way my nutrition and then my rest is much higher than it used to be. So everything's just here for fatigue management. And
I think you're kind of setting that foundation again. We always talk about where it's like, all right, if you set the foundation with your diet or your nutrition, your sleep, I think then you start to implement more and more with like the workouts. So I think it all kind of comes together. But if the nutrition isn't there, they always say it's 70% diet, 30% gym,
it's way more than that.
Maybe even more than that. So
way more than that.
Getting that nutrition right is the key. That's something I gotta get better at too.
Honestly, so I don't mean to plug Redefined Meals, but I'm going to do it. They did a good job, at least for the most part, on the meals. Like, we bought so many. I've gone through 20 meals with them in the past 2 weeks, only because I buy 10 meals at a time. And those are just fillers, right? When I don't have a chance to cook or I'm too lazy. And their macros are pretty good, flavor's pretty good, and the cost is not bad. I'm paying like $7, $8 per meal.
I used to like cooking. I hate meal prepping on Sundays, man. I've gotten efficient with it, but still, it's like 2 hours, 3 hours a day, and I always say with Steph, if you ever won the lottery, first thing I'm getting a personal chef. Hands down with it before getting anything else, because that would save so much time throughout the week.
How else does Rock do it?
Yeah, oh God, yeah. Do you see his epic cheat meals too? I mean, he deserves it because he is strict throughout the entire week.
That is a whole conversation you and I could have later. But I think if you got the money and Hollywood's paying you, things are a little easier, right? You got a chef.
Yeah.
You have your own fucking cod pond.
It's it definitely, I guess it took a lot to get there, and he worked hard to get there, but once you get there, man, now it's like personal chef. You got his trainer. You tell him where to be at certain times. It's got to be nice.
But let's think about that for a second. And this is probably off tangent, right? There's no way The Rock is going to bed at midnight, waking up at 4 a.m, and still looking like that without some help. But it's probably again helped by his program design. It's probably it's a whole different world.
Oh, he's got a team. Yeah. And they're modifying on the fly when they need to. When he is having those rough weeks like that maybe we're having, they modify it, and he still gets his workouts in, but maybe they dial things back or whatever it might be.
Yeah, and have you seen Chris Helmsworth in the new trailer for?
Dude, he looks like a beast.
Okay. Pay me enough money, I'll do it too, right? You have a doctor's.
He must be getting 3 days in, man. He looks tremendous.
3 days or a couple extra helping hands, whatever, But I know none of those guys are able to do that without getting paid. Which kind of brings us to what we were going to talk about today, which is 75 hard. Let's look it up. So Andy Frisella, 75 hard.
So tell us the premise. Kind of you've done it in the past, where you've done most of it.
I've attempted it, right?
Attempted it. So tell us the premise of what the 75 hard consists of.
So 75 hard is a 75-day challenge by Andy Frisella. Frisella. He is quite the entrepreneur. He's a self-made billionaire. If you never listened to his podcast, was it Real as Fuck? Real AF? He also had a really popular entrepreneurial podcast back on the Apple Podcast days where everything was just there. And it was good. It was really good. He created this 75 hard challenge for people to do, where you would have to do this every single day for 75 days. One is you avoid alcohol. I think you're supposed to all alcohol. I don't know if he mentions any kind of other drug, but all alcohol is gone, right?
Assumed, right?
Yeah. You'd have to choose a diet and commit to it 75 days straight. You have to drink a gallon of water for 75 days straight.
Not easy.
No, it's not. You got to work out twice a day for 45 minutes in each session for 75 days straight. You got to read 10 pages of a nonfiction book, like entrepreneurial personal development type of book.
Like mindset or something along the lines of that.
75 days straight. And you got to take a daily progress picture for 75 days straight. So I made it to like 51 or 52 days the first time I did it.
It's a lot. So, I mean, how was the experience?
It was good. Like, so I didn't think it was too tough, number one, because I was working from home. I was working from home. This was post-surgery. I was trying to get back on my feet, and like I found no will to do anything because everything was just hurting after surgery. And I said, all right, I'll do this. So for me, my the gallon of water a day wasn't too hard because I was sitting around. I didn't do the progress pictures. I actually just did everyday weight versus progress pictures, which is not the 75 hard, but I modified it.
Yeah.
And then what I found an issue with was just because my lack of discipline was like I got lazy on the follow the diet. So I chose a diet, and my diet was eat clean. It was not like here's my macros or whatever. I got lazy as shit on it because I was tired of counting macros. I did it all my life, and I just don't want to do it anymore. I miss it. Obviously, I'm doing it now. And I actually think I would be able to do 75 hard way better now with this mindset than it would have last year. So I might attempt it again this summer.
Okay.
My 2 workouts a day. Now, mind you, this is post-surgery. So, right? So I had 45 minutes.
Got to be modified a little bit there as well.
So 45 minutes of physical therapy work to get the hip back in motion. And the other 45 minutes was light bike or light walk with the dogs. The experience was wonderful. I don't like to drink as is. You know me, I'm a smoker, I'm not a drinker.
Yeah.
I don't like to drink as is. So was the experience tough? If I was still working in the city, right? Like if I was commuting back and forth to New York City, because I live in Long Island, for those of you not around here, that commute from Long Island to the cities is treacherous. It's a pain in the ass. If I was still going into work, I don't know how I would manage 2 45-minute workouts a day.
That's what I find. It's got to be tough to feel like. I feel like it needs to be the perfect scenario almost, where it's like, I don't think the average Joe would go into this and I don't feel comfortable doing it or be able to really handle how disciplined you need to be. I know we always talk about, like we said before, setting that foundation and starting small and working your way up. And this is, it's pretty extreme where you need to be strict every single day for 75 days. Tough task, tough task for a lot of people.
It's funny because he says there's a lot of people that will start this program and not finish it and then try it again. And he says that's not for you. You're not the type of person to do this because the type of person that should be doing this is the type of person who's going to be doing this, not try it. Yeah. It's not like a sample. No, it's you do
You're
it
committed
or you don't. Yeah.
On day one. I mean, I know a few, personal trainers, guys that have the background that you have, and I've seen some younger kids try it. And I often find the ones that get close to finishing it or complete it, at least from what I've seen, they have a training background or they're a personal trainer or something in the health and fitness realm where they already have that base. Some of the younger kids I know that tried it, maybe they didn't have the discipline to follow through, or they modified things too much where it wasn't really even the 75 hard anymore. So it definitely, I think it takes the right person to really commit. And like I said, day one, you got to be knowing that, all right, I'm doing this for 75 days.
So you're telling me, before we started this, you told me that you might have some hesitations on trying this. What were they?
It's like, I think I'm pretty disciplined. I'm pretty structured for the most part. And I think when it comes to working out, I'm pretty disciplined where I'm getting my 3 or 4 workouts in in the gym. I'll get my cardio in and my yoga in and all that. But, but that's tough right now for me on top of handling the business and, all the things that come with that. On top of, being a husband, being a dad, I think that's my top priority. So I feel sometimes with 75 hard, and correct me if you don't think so, but I feel like something's always taking a hit. Something's going to take a hit if you're going into this, unless you really plan it out and your time management is on point.
Yeah, I got a lot to say about this.
Let's hear it.
All right. So like recapping my life, right? My days start about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I get up in the morning, I take the dogs out, cup of coffee with the wife, go back to bed, cup of coffee with the wife and whatever. So she goes to work at 7:30, and I have my 9 to 5. And I also have all this editing to do for all these videos. And, that's a whole afternoon, evening. Plus, I still got to take care of dogs, between feeding them and taking care of and training and all that. Do I think I could do 75 hard right now? Yeah. And the reason why I say that is because
would you feel like physically, would you be feeling good?
So now, and I say this with like an asterisk and the fine print here, right? Like in order for me to do this appropriately, I would have to have the buy-in from my wife. Just because I'm in that boat, right? Like if you're single, fuck, man.
Oh yeah,
I don't want to hear it. Like
exactly.
It's tiring. It's exhausting being single, and I understand. I have a lot of older friends who are single, and they're sad. I think if they tried this, it would change their perspective on what goals are, because there's not every day.
I have heard that a lot. Like people progress mentally with this as well. Like they feel changes mentally and physically, of course, but that mental component, because it is a lot of discipline, and you learn a lot about yourself from what I hear.
Yeah. I mean, like there's something also a good feeling about this. And I used to say this a lot to other people when it came to diet. How many times in your week can you check a box and say, I've accomplished a goal? Not many, right? Usually goals take time to accomplish. If you follow your diet in that day, you hit your macros or you get your rest, like these are all little accomplishments. You'd be like, wow, I hit a goal today, and you do it every day. That's a great feeling. I think with 75 hard, it also helps that all of these things are daily goals. But back to the point about my wife's buy-in. So I would need buy-in from my family, right? Like, my dogs benefit from this regardless, because what's going to happen here is I'm not going to take it to an extreme where my 45 minutes workouts have to be like, oh, I'm drenched, whatever. No, if I'm working out every single day, that means my fatigue management might be better, because I'm not going to go push myself to my limit every day.
Which I think that's important that you brought that up, because I think some people might not do that. They might, I knew one person that did it they were working out every single day, and like their second workout was cardio outside, and
like hard cardio, not like
not going for a walk, or it was like jogging or running or sprint work, and 3 or 4 weeks in, they ended up getting sick. Nothing major, but I think at the flu or whatever it might have been, because he was so run down. The body just couldn't handle that extent that he was pushing it to.
Sirens.
Yeah, everything's all right, but it was a lot to push in 3 or 4 weeks, whereas somebody like you, that all right, you can't do that, it's not sustainable for 75 days, where you do need to mix in those lighter intensity workouts, or those walks, and that's your 45 minutes, like you said. You have to have those light days, because if you're going hard with the workouts every single day, there's going to be a breakdown somewhere.
Yeah, it's not 75 hard. I mean, if you listen to Andy Frisella, I think I got his name right.
You're closer, yeah.
Excuse me. If you listen to 75 Hard, or anybody, or read the book or anything, the hard does not stand for making everything hard. Like the workouts have to be hard, the diet has to be hard. Hard is actually getting through 75 days.
I think it's more mentally than physical. Would you say?
Yeah. So your buddy who excuse me, your trainer who went through like 3 or 4 weeks and started getting sick, if he got sick, then you could tell his diet was off. Because if you're going to work out that hard, your micronutrients have to be perfect. Your macronutrients have to cover your recovery. Like maybe he wasn't sleeping enough. So like that'll tell you, like you can go 75 moderate, right, on these moderate workouts. And if you start to get injured and sick, you're not resting enough, or you're not doing the simple protocols.
Yeah, something's off.
Yeah, nutrition, rest, whatever, that would help you with your recovery. For me, I'm going to be realistic, and I put my weight vest on. When I run this time, it's going to be a weight vest and walk the dogs for 45 minutes. That's one workout, right? We'll cover 1.5 miles, 2 miles, maybe like depending how sluggish they are.
Yeah.
And for the second workout, that'll be strength training combined, or maybe just a good kettlebell workout that'll have a lot more like yoga intensive things. Because for me, I'm on the computer. My 9 to 5 is on the computer. My editing is on the computer. The only time I'm not working on the computer is when I'm having a camera in hand. And it just, I just need to, and this is a mindset that you're all going to have to adopt if you want to do this the right way, especially if you're not an avid athlete, right? If you're a desk jockey, you got to consider posture first. And then, which is a priority, fixing your posture first, because if you're all day on the computer, you got to reverse that. And then you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. I mean, do you think somebody that doesn't have the experience in the gym, or, isn't really necessarily too knowledgeable when it comes to nutrition and all that, do they get a trainer and have them kind of guide them through this? Is that something that would be, you think, helpful? Because I know it's, like you have the background and you can make those modifications along the way. Maybe, the average Joe or somebody just that doesn't like working out, that wants to maybe improve their health, they're going to struggle maybe with that.
Yeah. So your average Joe,
I mean,
you need the right trainer. Yeah. That's the problem. And I think everybody online is a trainer nowadays. And like,
we can talk about this for 30 minutes too.
Yo, I have seen people write programs for beginners that make no sense. Like, they are maxing out or sub-maxing out every day, and these people never did push-ups, or they used to do it 20 years ago. And I'm just like, what? Start with 5. Start at 15 over time. Maybe do something on the hour every hour. And if you're going to have somebody work out twice a day for 7 days, you got to consider that they want to do this for 75 days, right?
I think micro and macro.
Yeah, like people just aren't doing this. Yeah, people, you got to find a really experienced coach. And if you want to get into macros, there's too much free information online for people to kind of get lost in the sauce now. I think if you used apps like MacroFactor is a good app. I really do enjoy it. It's simple. But there's several apps that you can use now that'll tell you what the weight of food is and how to eat, and just keep consistent. That is the thing that I love about this. It's consistency. And for me in my life, this is the most consistent I've ever been. Granted, I'm not busting my ass in the gym. I'm just consistent about doing something every day. This is the best feeling I've had, and I've worked out my entire life. Mm-hmm. And wait, so what are the issues with you? Like, what do you think you cannot handle with this?
So, I look at my situation. So my wife's a PT also, as you know, but we have opposite schedules, so that somebody's always watching our son, or there's a transition with the babysitter. So, Monday through Friday, I really don't see her much. We see each other for an hour or so at the end of the day. So
sounds like a 45-minute walk.
Well, now that it's getting nice out, yes. Yeah, that's definitely...
And that's what I meant by buy-in, by the way.
But Joey's sleeping at that point. We can't leave him by himself. So now
Can you put him in a stroller?
If he's in the crib, once he's in the crib, man, transferring him in, it's just too much going on.
So what about... So now I'm not saying you're making excuses. I'm trying to find a workout.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So what about 45 minutes with your wife, maybe doing yoga, stretching, something... It's a workout.
I think that's definitely doable for maybe a few days throughout the week, but her being pregnant and 75 days in a row.
So then some day, 1 or 2 days she'll do it with you, and the other day she'll watch you and cheer you on.
Where I think, I think a modified 75 hard is doable for at least the way it is. But I think life is...
Or maybe it's not for you right now.
Well, I think that's what it comes down to, where it's like, maybe when we have more time, and... Because right now we're both living healthy. I mean, Steph's getting her workouts in, I get my workouts in, and everything's good right now in that regard. But it's just I feel like life. If it was in a bubble where everything was like everything's going perfect, then it's doable. But there's so many variables on the outside that factor in between work and all that. It's not easy. But I think something like this, I think you really got to map it out maybe prior to starting. What do you think about that? Where
I think when you want to do something like this, you have to look at the future 75 days in front of you and see whether or not it will fit. And don't try to make excuses not to do it. But like in your case, you have a pregnant wife, you have a business, you have a kid. You're doing all that you can at the moment. I definitely think for those who And I'm gonna say this with a lot of personal experience. If you wake up in the morning and you don't really know what's going on in your life, you know what I mean? Like you don't really have a projection for the next 75 days, and all you have is work, and you wake up and you don't want to wake up, or you don't want to work out, or you don't want to just do it. Just jump on this, you know? Tell your wife you're gonna start something like this. Tell your friends when you go out. Like I have a friend who's my buddy, he did the 75 hard challenge, and he did it while going on 2 vacations with his drinking buddies.
That's
And
impressive.
He did not drink.
I mean, that's discipline to the extreme.
But he also doesn't need to drink to have a good time.
Yeah.
No, I do. But and some people do. But he doesn't, and he still had a great time. He was drinking water. I see his Instagram stories. I'm talking to him. I'm keeping in touch with him. He's like, yeah, I'm just drinking water, bro.
That's impressive. I mean, I'm an introvert at heart, so doing this alone is tough. You know, that's impressive.
And he was the only one that was up in the morning while everybody was hungover and sleeping.
Yeah, of course.
And he was out enjoying the views. Like
He probably had his own solid vacation.
Yeah,
to it
yeah,
and
for
stuff.
sure.
Yeah.
But every time I talked to him, he's just like, yeah, I'm doing this. And he was enjoying it. It was very eat, pray, love. But at the same time, he's like, yeah, I can't. When this is done, man, I'm fucking getting trashed. I'm just like, all right. But he had the discipline to do it.
Yeah. And I feel like once you get far enough into it, you got to see it through, to an extent. And I know it's easier said than done, but I mean, yeah, once you get into it, I'm sure there's things that happen along the way that, you roll with the punches.
Yeah. Again, just if you want to do 75 hard, maybe you just have to plan this out and get the buy-in from your friends, your family, whoever is going to be immediately around you. Most of the time, you tell them that. You tell them you're doing this, and then don't be afraid to say no to things. I think that's another thing, FOMO. Like a lot of people have FOMO when they're like, I want to go out, but 75 hard will stop you when your birthday's around the corner, right? Like your birthday's you will stop doing 75 hard, not plan to do 75 hard if your birthday's around the corner because you're like, I'm gonna go get trashed. I'm gonna party.
Yeah, you got a wedding coming up, or you got.
But it's all summer long. There's always something.
There's always going to be within 75 days. I mean, there's something that's going to come up in that 75 days that's going to test you.
And you got to make that choice. You got to make that decision that this is more important to you. Your mental health, your physical health, all these things. If you make that decision that that's more important to you, yeah, go for it. 75 hard, but get the buy-in, especially if you have a wife.
Yeah, absolutely. You need that buy-in, just because that's the top priority. You got to keep your circle happy. That's at least my main priority too.
Yeah, I mean, look, just as a dog owner and a wife haver.
Yeah,
I think for me, 75 hard makes sense, even though I have 9 to 5 and my business.
I still got a lot going on. I
have a lot going on, but honestly, to take 45 minutes out in the morning and go for a walk. And in the afternoons, either go for another walk or get a workout in. I don't think it's that bad. 45 minutes, it used to feel long. But a couple months ago when I put the weight vest on and started walking the dogs, I realized how quick 45 minutes will fly by. You just got to find the time. On that note, if you're looking for more information on 75 Hard, you could just Google it. There's so much free information online if you don't want to go with Andy Frisella's book.
If you have any questions about any workouts or any training that you're doing, any injuries you're dealing with, let us know in the comments, and we'd love to help you guys.
Until then, catch us on Instagram at O_P_podcast, YouTube at Optimum Potential Podcast. We don't have a custom URL yet because we need 100 subscribers, so
show some support.
We're also on Apple Podcasts, Optimum Potential Podcast. Said that a lot.
Yeah, that's tough to say.
It is tough to say. All right, well, until next time. Later.